Why the Sacramento Kings shouldn't trash talk the Golden State Warriors. As you all know, Game 3 for the Warriors and Kings just happened, and Warriors were able to win 114 to 97. And it's starting to look more and more that the Golden State Warriors can pull this off and come back from 2-0 to win the series. In today's video, we're going to be going through 5 reasons the Golden State Warriors were able to turn this game around and win Game 3, and also how this is going to help them not only just win this series, but win another NBA championship. So make sure to like this video. And guys, 92% of you are still not subscribed to the channel, so it'd mean the world if you could subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. The first is that Stephen Curry was absolutely on fire. Now this is something we all expected for Game 3, especially in the home court of Golden State Warriors, but Steph Curry went off where he dropped 36 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and also 2 steals. On top of all this, guys, he did shoot 6 from 12 from the 3-point line, which is 50%, went 6 from 6 from the free throw line, and 12 from 25 for the whole field. So I do think it is fantastic to see Steph Curry be able to score a lot due to the fact that Sacramento Kings in the first 2 games was able to lock him down pretty well. Now he did have great scoring matches, however it was a little bit streaky. In this game, however, he came out firing and he could not be stopped. And this is the type of Steph Curry we need to see for the rest of this series if they want to continue to win games and continue to win this series. Now they do go up against Sacramento Kings, who do have great defenders such as Harrison Barnes, De'Aaron Fox. However, I do think Steve Kerr came up with a new game plan to really get Stephen Curry open, and that's what we saw in this matchup very, very well. He didn't just come off your normal pick and rolls or normal screens or off-ball screens. I do think they did something different when it comes to matchups. Who's actually screening him? The defender that is put on him when they switch. And I do think it really did give Steph Curry a lot of leeway to actually score and be able to get a bucket. We saw that in Game 1 and Game 2. They were able to suffocate him, really throw doubles at him and all of that nature. But now in this matchup, it really did seem that Steph Curry had more space and had more place to actually work. Now when it comes to other things such as assists, he may not have gotten a lot of assists, but you did see that he did attract a lot of attention and he caused a lot of problems for the other team and a lot of spacing problems at that point. So it did give a lot of attention to other players such as Andrew Wiggins, who was able to drop 20 points, Klay Thompson, who only had 13, but you know, 13 is 13, and also Jordan Poole, who had 16 as well. So they were definitely able to do something different and be able to provide a lot of scoring, and we need to see that from Steph Curry day in and day out. On top of this, if we look at the effective field goal percentage as a whole and just field goal in general, for him to be able to shoot that high of a percentage has honestly been insane for this team, which is one of the reasons why they were able to win by 17 points. I do think when it comes to Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry has to be playing well if they want to win games, and I do think it is important to really have game plans that are set up that can get Steph Curry open and continue to get him open day in and day out. The second is Andrew Wiggins is back playing at a very high level. Now as you all know, Andrew Wiggins did take a long hiatus due to personal problems, but he made his way back into the NBA, straight away into the NBA playoffs, and he's done a fantastic job to be able to already adapt and become the second right-hand man or third right-hand man to Stephen Curry, depending if you want Klay Thompson in that conversation. But when it comes to Andrew Wiggins, he did a fantastic job because he had 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and also went 3 from 6 from the 3. I honestly do think Andrew Wiggins, although it may not show up in the stat sheet, he is one of the best defenders in this team, and he was doing a fantastic job, especially on switches. I think what made it really, really important and really good for this Golden State Warriors team is that whenever there was a switch and maybe Andrew Wiggins was put on a point guard, you know, Andrew Wiggins had no problem locking that up. Whether it was De'Aaron Fox, whether it was Keegan Murray or Kevin Huerter, it really didn't matter who was switched on him. Wiggins was able to stop that, and on top of that, guys, when it came to the other defensive end of things, he was able to get rebounds as if he was a power forward. So I do think they did run a small ball since Draymond Green was not in this lineup, and I think it definitely worked. We may see coming into Game 4, since Draymond Green is going to be back into the lineup, we may actually see him come off the bench and maybe have Andrew Wiggins be the permanent power forward and move Jordan Poole in the starting lineup like they did today, due to the fact that it does give, you know, this team a lot more spacing since Andrew Wiggins can shoot that 3 ball and another elite defender on the court. So I do think it is important to keep Andrew Wiggins healthy and to keep him playing at this high of a level. Definitely having Steph Curry play well is great, but having Andrew Wiggins play great as well is definitely a must-have. Wiggins, on top of all this, does great on-ball defense, great communication, communication out there, and you definitely saw that throughout the matchup. The points that he was able to get, he shot at a very high efficiency. His field goal percentage was 50%. He went 8 from 16, which was fantastic, and the rebounds and assists also did help in the long run. I think this is really important as well, because if Klay Thompson, like he did have a bad game where Klay only went 3 from 10 from the 3 and also 5 from 15 from the field, you need someone else to step up, because Steph Curry can't score all the points. And Andrew Wiggins definitely stepped up, and that's what he showed in this matchup night in and night out. I do think he did a great job as well guarding players such as Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, De'Aaron Fox, and you could tell when Andrew Wiggins was marking these players, they struggled a lot to score and really get something going on offense. So he really does provide a lot, and I think it's something that is so underrated about Andrew Wiggins' game. Defense wins championships, and I think Andrew Wiggins' defense definitely changed this game around and was one of the reasons why they were able to get a comfortable 17-point lead. Now, people do say, Golden State Warriors can't play defense, but when you have players like Wiggins out there, also other players such as Gary Payton II, DiVincenzo, it really does help this team grow, and I do think defense is super important. The third is Dante DiVincenzo did a fantastic job filling in Draymond Green's shoes. Now, you're probably wondering, what the hell do you mean by that? But guys, if you didn't know, in this matchup, Dante DiVincenzo was able to pretty much do what Draymond Green does and get a bunch of stats on the board. He got 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals, and also 6 assists. And I don't know about you, but those look like Draymond Green type numbers. So he did a fantastic job at really providing a lot of impact on defense, and especially when it came to impact off the bench. He was doing everything out there from steals, rebounds, assists, all those good things that Draymond Green does, Dante DiVincenzo was able to do for this team. He actually had the most minutes off the bench. Everyone got under around 15 minutes when it came to the bench, and Dante DiVincenzo was the only one that averaged 27 minutes in this game. Now, he didn't shoot too well from the field, going 2 from 8, but he did make up for it on defense, getting those 4 steals, and I do think when it comes to DiVincenzo's on-ball defense, it really did help this team out a lot. If we look at the other team, we had Huerter, who only had 13 points, Murray, who only had 6, Harrison Barnes had 17, and also Sabonis had 15. The only probably outlier is De'Aaron Fox, who had 26 points, but to really restrict these guys from scoring a lot of points, 6 Sacramento is a very fast-paced team. I think they did a fantastic job, especially when Wiggins was out there, DiVincenzo was out there, to really stop the ball early and really slow that pace down. I think DiVincenzo is going to be a huge asset for the future of this playoff run, and I do think he is going to get a lot more minutes like this coming off the bench, getting up to 25 plus minutes per game, and they needs to be able to perform not just on offense but on defense if they want to continue to win. I think DiVincenzo is a great scorer, do not get me wrong, but I do think that his defense is definitely more important for this team. You have other scorers in the team like Steph, Poole, Thompson, you can maybe even add Wiggins in there, and I do think DiVincenzo, all he really has to do is give those numbers on rebounds, assists, and steals, and Golden State Warriors can definitely win it all. The fourth is the Golden State Warriors as a team beat the Sacramento Kings in every statistical category. And I think this is super important because although certain players may have great games, I do think as a whole, if your team performs better in all statistical categories, you're most likely going to win, and that's what they did in this matchup. If you look at the 3-point percentage, Sacramento shot 23% from the 3, while Golden State Warriors shot 32%. If we also look at the free throw line, Sacramento was only 70%, while Golden State Warriors were 78. If we look at things such as rebounds, Sacramento had 53 and Golden State Warriors had 59. And even take it a step further to assists, Sacramento had 21 and Golden State Warriors had 31. So I do think this tells a tale of, Golden State Warriors as a team just performing much better, and that's something we need to see from the Warriors. Even if it's little things such as more steals, which they did have from 6 to 12, so 6 was Sacramento and 12 was Golden State Warriors, even blocks, even limiting amount of turnovers, things like that. Although it may not show up in the stat sheet as a whole on the points area, I do think it really does help the team, and it really does help in an intangible way. So I do think when it comes to Golden State Warriors as a whole, they are performing a lot more better in this matchup than they did in game 1 and 2. I definitely do think the home court advantage does help. No one really knows why, but the Golden State Warriors really do struggle in away games, but I do think they need to turn that around. But thankfully for game 4, they are going to be again back at home, so they are going to be able to tie up this series. I do think when it comes to tying up the series, that is going to be super important. It's definitely going to shift the momentum into Golden State Warriors area, and I do think it will help this team go further and win the series. series overall. Now, if we also look at other statistical categories where Golden State Warriors actually beat Sacramento Kings, we have assists, steals, blocks, total turnovers was actually Golden State Warriors had less turnovers than Sacramento Kings. Points in the paint they also had, and also, largest lead. Golden State Warriors had 23, while Sacramento weren't able to get a lead the whole game. So Golden State Warriors pretty much had this game in the bag, and a lot of people were very, very confident they were going to win since they were at home. And this is where playoff experience really starts to come out, and we really start to see what these teams are made of. The fifth is that Kavon Looney had himself a monster game. Now, as you all know, Kavon Looney, he is a great rebounder, but tonight he did a fantastic job because he was able to get 20 rebounds, 9 assists, and still had a quick 4 points as well. When we look at his rebounds and assists, guys, that is honestly insane. He almost got a double-double for just rebounds and assists, and I do think Kavon Looney's rebounding ability had definitely shown in this matchup. Now, he does have a tough matchup against Sabonis. Sabonis is a very strong rebounder, and he also got 16 rebounds as well, but the fact that Kavon Looney was able to keep up, and especially when it came to times where he maybe had to switch on a guard or maybe had to switch on a forward, he did a fantastic job at containing and really stopping the ball early. This is something about Kavon Looney that I think is fantastic. Yes, he is a center, but if he is put onto a guard, I think Kavon Looney can still hold his own pretty well. He may not be up there with Andrew Wiggins, but I do think he still does a fantastic job at defending no matter whether it's 1 through 5. And when it comes to that rebounding, I do think it is fantastic to see Kavon Looney be able to be very aggressive on the boards, and I think that's going to help this team in the future, and especially during this series, to get it done and win against the Sacramento Kings.